Hello and welcome to another episode of Scott Reads Comics. Today I've got the beginning of what I think is going to be a pretty cool mini-series within my ongoing coverage of comics in general. I'm going to start with issue 1 of the official Handbook of the Marvel Universe Deluxe Edition and hopefully make my way episode by episode all the way through issue 20. Published in 1985 by Marvel Comics, the official Handbook of the Marvel Universe Deluxe Edition follows on from the highly successful previous official Handbook of the Marvel Universe Standard Edition. And here, just to compare the two, is another random issue I have, number 7. You can see the difference overall in the thickness between the two books. So there are a number of improvements in the deluxe edition versus the original edition. I love both. I actually have the collected hardcover omnibus edition of this original edition of the official Handbook of the Marvel Universe. I generally don't like omnibus editions. In fact, that is the only omnibus I own because it is thin and readable. Most omnibuses I feel are just too bulky, and I don't like shiny paper either, as I've said many times on the show. So I'm going to focus on the deluxe edition because I prefer it to the standard, although I still do love the standard. Both are totally awesome. So check out this amazing wraparound cover from John Byrne, who would be the cover artist through most of the series until I believe in mid-series he bails out and heads to DC, and the amazing Ron Frenz, Pittsburgh's own Ron Frenz, takes over and does an incredible job on the later covers. So yeah, this is a really great wraparound cover showing most of the, probably all of the heroes covered in this, and villains covered in this edition, sort of running forward. It's pretty cool. So we're just going to go through it. I'm going to stop and read little excerpts here and there, talk a little bit about the characters, and just kind of informally sort of read this through with you. Appreciate you joining me, by the way. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the show. Comment below. Let me know what you're thinking, and tell your friends. So we start A to Z, of course, with Abomination, drawn by John Byrne. And I'll be flipping back to this contents and artists page as I read through this, just because I want to get the artists right. So one of the things that Mark Gruenwald wanted to do, he's the editor and kind of director and creator of this whole project, was create more thorough entries, increase the type size, which they do. You can see the type is a little larger comparing the old one to the new one, and give more action scenes for the characters. So you get that. A lot of the entries are 2 pages. Not all of them, but a lot of them are. Some are more than that. I think Professor X is 3 or 4 pages when we eventually do get to him. So great shot of the Abomination here. One thing they did add too was the strength level, which I loved. I have many of these still memorized to this day. I'm not sure why they're taking up that much space in my head, but they reside there seemingly permanently. So the Abomination possesses vast superhuman strength, enabling him to lift press approximately 100 tons. He is not under the class 100 strength level, since he cannot routinely lift press in excess of 100 tons. So there was this sort of weird line between those characters in the Marvel Universe. He's definitely one of the heavy hitters, being able to slug it out with the Hulk, but he is not a class 100 strength level character like Thor or an enraged Hulk. Yeah, so they get very specific in the capabilities of these characters in here versus the DC Who's Who, which I did a video early on in the show's lifespan comparing the two, and a very popular video. And I think just folks love these kind of things, these sort of catalogs or assemblages of heroes and villains, and with their stats and physical characteristics and things. He is 6'8", 980 pounds. He's a big fella. So very cool. We get some action sequences here from early Hulk days. On to the Absorbing Man. Another great piece here. This one by Ron Wilson, one of my favorite Marvel artists. Just a solid, underrated artist, and this is a great figure work here by Mr. Wilson. Very awesome action sequences here. Absorbing Man, Carl Crusher Creel, professional criminal. Identity is publicly known. Former alias is none. He has a criminal record. He is single. Group affiliation, former agent of Loki and of They Who Wield Power. Base of operations, mobile. First appearance, Journey into Mystery 114. Some great action sequences here of Absorbing Man. This looks like a Keith Pollard panel. These are a couple classic Kirby panels here. On to a nice entry on Adamantium. We see Dr. Myron McLean, the inventor of Adamantium, part of the process. Of course, the two primary wielders of Adamantium at that time were Ultron and Wolverine, so they have them pictured as well. First appearance of Adamantium is Avengers 66. I love Aguila, the Eagle. Great Power Man and Iron Fist ally. Cool Marvel mutant character who doesn't really get enough use. Didn't at the time anyway when this was out, save for a few appearances in Power Man and Iron Fist. Very cool. Strength level. El Aguila possesses the normal human strength of a man of his age, height, and build who engages in intensive regular exercise. So that's kind of a cap for most of your athletic types without super strength. In the old handbook, when they would have like a character like Iron Fist, they would say, oh, Iron Fist can lift press 300 pounds. Instead, with this deluxe edition, they got rid of most of that. If you didn't have superhuman strength or near superhuman strength, they basically hit you with that general descriptor. El Aguila possesses the ability to discharge electrostatic charges generated by his own body through a conductive medium, in this case his sword. And they go into how much and everything. It's pretty great. Advanced idea mechanics, some of the best, coolest villainous organizations in the Marvel Universe. Among them, AIM is among the best. I think very cool. Sad entry here on Alpha Flight. The comic book that John Byrne seemed to not want to do, but did for 28 issues and spent the entire time destroying the team and really had them even together. And I've talked about my ambivalence about Byrne's Alpha Flight run before, and I'll eventually cover Alpha Flight on the show. But cool that we get to see all the floating heads here from the corner boxes. Great entry on the Alpha Primitives, the worker drone / slave race of the Inhumans. Kind of a problematic thing if you think about it, looking back at it. And who did them? Oh, Ron Wilson again, should have known. Great figure work there by Ron Wilson. He was really well suited to this format. And I think we have another Ron Wilson here. American Eagle, one of my favorite characters from Marvel 2-in-1. His debut was, I think, Marvel 2-in-1 Annual number 6. Totally awesome character. I love his power set. Jason Strongbow, occupation tribal leader. Place of birth, Calbito, Arizona. Jason Strongbow, a representative of the Navajo tribe of Indiana, attempted to stop a mining company from excavating a mountain sacred to the tribe by obtaining a court order. Failing in that, he led a peaceful protest group at the mining site. And it goes on to just describe his entire origin. The American Eagle possesses superhuman strength, enabling him to lift press approximately 15 tons under optimal conditions. And this is a great shot up from that Marvel 2-in-1 Annual of him tearing this tree out of the ground by Ron Wilson. Really awesome. He's 6 feet, 200 pounds. The American Eagle possesses superhuman strength, speed, agility, and endurance. He can run at a maximum speed of 65 miles per hour. He has several times the endurance of an average human being. His sensory organs have also been fortified. Like his namesake, the eagle, he has keen eyesight and is able to see 800 feet what the average human being sees at 20 feet. So very cool, neat, kind of limited but focused power set. And just a great looking character too, visually stunning. I don't know how practical that would be in battle, but man, it looks cool on the page. One of my favorite villains, Anaconda, founding member of the Serpent Squad / Serpent Society. She can lift press 2 tons. Pretty cool. Blanche Blondie Shitsky. She is also from Pittsburgh. So yeah, represent Pittsburgh. Andromeda later showed up in as a member of the Defenders right before that team was disbanded. I think this looks like John Buscema artwork here on Andromeda. Let me check that. Yeah, Big John. Check it out. Pretty awesome. I think this panel here of her in action is miscolored. She can lift press 14 tons, which is impressive. She has some Atlantean heritage. Angar the Screamer, a hippie villain from the 70s. I think he shows up briefly in the Project Pegasus saga. And he was, I think, was he a Daredevil foe? Yeah, first appearance Daredevil 100, origin Daredevil 101. Great entry on the Angel here, very cool. Lots of cool John Byrne, almost all John Byrne panels here. Very cool, great choices there. Byrne, like I said, there's not a single character John Byrne doesn't draw well, and his Angel is excellent. The main figure work is Kerry Gammill, though, and I love Kerry's artwork. He's very good. Angel, when you think about it, is probably one of the weakest X-Men ever. I mean, obviously they changed that when they made him into Archangel and made him all emo and gave him some ranged powers and made him a little tougher. But this original version of the Angel is actually pretty lame. I do like him though. He's cool. Annihilus, awesome FF villain. This is some great Byrne artwork here. And we have not all, we have a mix of Byrne and Kirby panels here. Look at that Kirby crackle on that panel. That's pretty awesome. He's pretty strong. He'll lift press 50 tons, if I recall. Yes, he can. He can fly. He has his cosmic control rod, which gives him all these energy abilities. Just a visually stunning Kirby design there. Great shot of Ant-Man here. I'm not sure who did this Ant-Man. Jerry Ordway, representing for Marvel. Pretty awesome. And we get very cool here. It looks like all, I don't know if this, I don't think that's Byrne actually. I'm not sure who that is. That might be Jackson Geis. But we get some Byrne from Marvel Premiere panels of Ant-Man in action. And this is the Scott Lang Ant-Man, the Ant-Man we know from the movies. Very cool. I think his first appearance was Avengers 181. First appearance as Lang, Avengers 187. As Ant-Man, Marvel Premiere 47. Okay. Very cool. Inheritor of the Pym Particles. These great cutaways, too, by Elliot R. Brown became kind of the calling card of the official handbook. Just awesomely detailed. I mean, the drafting capability of Elliot R. Brown was so impressive. Just very cool. Let me just check that and make sure. I don't want to miscredit, but I'm fairly certain it's, Elliot Brown, technical illustrator. Peter Sanderson is the writer-researcher. Grunwald is the writer-producer. I should have said that from the beginning, just to give everyone's credits here. Joe Rubenstein is the inker embellisher. Mackey is the assistant editor, Howard Mackey. Andy Yanchus is the colorist. Brenda Mings, typesetter. Barry Shapiro, Paste Up Mechanicals. John Byrne, cover penciler. Dan Crespi, production supervisor. Mike Carlin, consultant. Jim Shooter, editor-in-chief. Aquarian, another hippie character from the 70s. Was played big in the Project Pegasus saga, which I'd like to cover on the show in detail at some point. I kind of did the precursor to that with my earlier coverage of a couple of issues of Marvel 2-in-1, which basically introduced the Project Pegasus in upstate New York. Fear number 17 as Wondor was his first appearance, and as the Aquarian, Marvel 2-in-1 58, which is the climax of the Pegasus saga. Very cool artwork here. I can't pin that one down. Let me check. Mike Harris. Nice artwork by Mike Harris. Some of the best I've ever seen from him. Very cool. He can lift press 1 ton, and he has the ability to rob people of their kinetic energy. We get some cool action panels here, including some Perez and some Byrne. Arabian Night, cool character from around the Marvel Universe. No actual powers. The Arabian Night possesses the normal human strength of a man of his age, height, and build who engages in moderate regular exercise. I'm looking at the Arabian Night here, drawn by Mike Harris again. Nice work. And this is a guy who does not engage in moderate regular exercise. He is jacked. That is intensive regular exercise to me. But hey, whatever. He's got his magic scimitar and his magic carpet. A very thematic hero. Kind of cool. First appearance, Incredible Hulk 257. That'd be a good one to track down. Aragorn, no, not the hero from Lord of the Rings. The winged horse of the Black Knight and the Valkyrie. Nice picture there. Arcade, this looks like John Byrne to me. Let's see. No, Bob Budiansky. Nice work, Bob. Yeah, one of my, Arcade is cool as a villain until you step back and realize he never actually kills anyone. I mean, none of the heroes that he kidnaps to assassinate die. So he's not very successful. So how does he keep getting jobs? Maybe in between killing all these heroes, he's offing businessmen and normal people like that. So I guess, maybe he has a higher percentage of success than we think. He's 5'6", 140 pounds. Arcade possesses the normal human strength of a man of his age, height, and build who engages in moderate regular exercise. Yeah, so that's moderate exercise right there, and this is moderate exercise. Whatever. I nitpick because I love it. Ares, awesome Paul Smith Ares here. A little color blotching there, kind of spoils it a little bit, but it looks fantastic. Just tremendous Paul Smith artwork there. And Ares is awesomely powerful, can lift press 70 tons. He has all the physical attributes of an Olympian, 6'1", 500 pounds due to his dense musculature. Here's one I disagree with, Archon. I love this character. Is that Johnny Buscema again on Archon? Yep. He's the one who originally created Archon, designed him, so great shot of Archon there by John Buscema. He's 6 feet, 400 pounds. He possesses superhuman strength and able to lift press approximately 2 tons under optimal conditions. He should be a lot stronger than that, really. He's gone not toe-to-toe with Thor, but he's fought Thor, and he's fought Colossus in X-Men Annual number 3. And he's a tough dude, and he should really be strong. I disagree with that strength level. And some of these seem so arbitrary. I would have loved to have been in the room when they were discussing this stuff. I guess it would have been Peter Sanderson and Mark Grunwald making these decisions ultimately. And yeah, I mean, essentially this became the guidebook for writers and artists moving forward. That's why it was so specific. And so, people were looking at that like, okay, that's what Archon can do. But I would point to evidence in the stories that he's stronger than that. Armadillo, very cool, visually cool villain slash anti-hero from Captain America. He can lift press 25 tons. He was a power broker client who was mutated by the process and not only got superhuman strength, but got all this mutated armor plating. He's 7 feet 6 inches, 540 pounds. Great. I think that's an Al Milgrom, some Al Milgrom artwork here. Maybe Paul Neary, not sure. Who draws this armadillo? John Byrne. Wow. That looks like something he just dashed off in 5 minutes. Oh, fantastic Arnim Zola here. He gets a pretty extensive entry. Lots of great images here. Very cool. And they not only cover characters, but they cover places. Asgard gets some coverage here, a little Kirby there. And they have a neat map here of Asgard. I mean, if you were running an RPG, like if you were running the Marvel RPG or your own version of a Marvel RPG, this is a priceless resource for that kind of thing. Just totally awesome. And I will say, most of the issues that I'm going to use to cover this, I got out of dollar bins. I know I say it almost every episode, but this stuff is there for the taking. Yes, you can get the omnibus. Yes, you can get the old trade paperbacks. I think it's more fun to get these. There's some corruption of the color, there's some blotching, but I love this heavy newsprint that this stuff is printed on, and very cool. These are little truncated entries for, like, in this case, the Asgardians. They don't contain nearly as much detail, but you do get a strength level, which is cool. And you get, again, they're a little bit arbitrary. Like Tyr can lift press 35 tons, whereas Hermod can lift press about 30 tons. Besides the conventional superhuman and physical attributes of an Asgardian god, Hermod possesses the ability to move at speeds many times greater than that of a normal Asgardian can. So that's kind of cool. Who are these guys drawn by? Let's take a look. Asgardians. Oh, Rich Bockler. Very pro, Rich. These all look great. Oh yeah, Frey. Vidar, who is Thor's half brother. He's actually strong. He can lift press 50 tons. I think he showed up in Thor Annual number 10 or 12 or something like that. Let's check. We can look. Thor Annual number 12 is his first appearance. The Asp, great member of the Serpent Society. Very cool little action shot of here. These one-page entries, they still always manage to get a panel of action in there, which is nice. Atlanteans, we get a detailed headshots of all the Atlanteans and information on their origin. We get Atlantis' position in the world. Some great Kirby panels here. Very extensive entry on Atlantis. Attilan, the homeworld of not the homeworld, the city-state of the Inhumans, basically, and talks about its history, including its move to the blue area of the moon. And again, if you're running an RPG set in the Marvel Universe, man, this is gold here. Look at this map of Attilan. Awesome. Good stuff. Great John Byrne panel there. Atuma, that looks like Byrne. Let me double check. Oh no, that's Walt Simonson. Wow, very tight pencils by Walt there. And a nice Kirby action panel. He's tough. He can lift press 40 tons on land and somewhat more than in water. So very cool. Great shot of Aurora here in her changed costume so she could differentiate herself from her brother. Part of Byrne's systematic destruction of Alpha Flight. Avalanche, cool character, member of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. That's a nice Byrne panel there. Avalanche possesses the normal human strength of a man of his age, height, and build who engages in moderate regular exercise. Again, look at those biceps. The guy's jacked. Where is it? That's another Rich Buckler. Very cool. I like that little costume change too. Subtle variety. Nice multi-page entry on the Avengers showing the membership sort of in chronological order as they joined. Very cool. Up to that point, which includes Firebird as the last member. The most recent member, I guess you'd say. Very cool. Oh, love the Beast. Arguably my favorite Avenger. It's between him and Wonder Man. Really big Wonder Man fan. And we get a detailed look at Avengers Compound and including some awesome technical drawings of the mansion. Looks really cool. Again, RPG players out there, Marvel Universe types, this stuff is gold for setting up like a scenario or a battle scene. Very cool. Look at that. Jarvis, great Byrne headshot of Jarvis there. It just goes on and on. It's totally awesome. Look at this cutaway of the Quinjet. It's so great. Elliot R. Brown was just amazing on this series. Just his technical drawings are just peerless. Great Walt Simonson, no doubt, of Balder there. Totally awesome. Let's see. Balder's 6'4", 320 pounds. Balder is somewhat stronger than the average Asgardian male and can lift press about 35 tons. The average Asgardian male can lift press 30 tons. Balder possesses the conventional superhuman physical attributes of an Asgardian. Like all Asgardians, Balder is extremely long-lived, though not immortal like the Olympians, superhumanly strong, and immune to all diseases. Asgardian flesh and bone is about 3 times denser than similar human tissue, contributing to the Asgardian's superhuman strength and weight. His Asgardian metabolism gives him superhuman endurance in all physical activities. And then it goes into how he's invulnerable because of all the spells placed on him. Great Baron Mordo with some awesome Paul Smith artwork and a little bit of Ditko there for the action panel. Very cool. We get a bunch more here on this next page. Mordo rates a 2-page entry, which is cool. Baron Zemo, one of the great arch villains of Marvel. This could be a Mike Zeck. These are definitely Mike Zeck action panels here. Let me see who draws this Baron Zemo. Yep, Mike Zeck. Very cool. And we finish off with a very cool one. Now, I'm bummed out here. I understand putting Batroc's Brigade, Zarin and Machete getting these tiny entries. Batroc rates a full entry. He rated a full entry in the old edition. He deserves a full entry in this edition too, but he gets the short shrift here and only gets this truncated entry. Strength level, human athlete. Strength level, human athlete for Zarin. Strength level for Machete, human athlete. So this truncated abilities for Machete. High proficiency at the throwing of knives and blades. Should be throwing and wielding. These 3, maybe not as so much Batroc, but these 2 are always candidates for membership in my Villain Mission Force Marvel RPG games that I run from time to time. Because they're just sort of like ham and egger villains, not particularly powerful, or they haven't really enjoyed a lot of storied appearances or success, but they're fun to run because of their gimmickry, and I have miniatures for them, which is cool. So, Zarin's first appearance, Master of Kung Fu 77. I have that issue. I sought it out just to get his first appearance because I like him visually so much. And Cap 302 Machete, I got to track that one down. And of course, Batroc's first appearance is going to be a little bit more expensive. Tales of Suspense, number 75. Finally, we finish up with a glossary that goes through from Adamantium through Divergent Earth and is continued in the next issue. I'll just read one of the entries. Cosmic Awareness. Enhanced consciousness enabling a sentient being the sensation of oneness with the universe. This enhanced consciousness enables a mind to perceive information that is closed to the 5 physical senses. Very cool. Yeah, so this is my first foray into my detailed coverage of each issue of the official handbook of the Marvel Universe Deluxe Edition. This has been number 1. I hope you enjoyed it. And check back here for more as I make my way from issue 1 all the way through issue 20 of this amazing series. Thanks for joining me, and I'll bring you more soon on Scott Reads Comics. Take care.